All right. Welcome to Thursday Night Shift. Sounds like I said something else, huh? Thank goodness I didn't. Okay, we are so excited to be here tonight. Our opening question for tonight is, we are going to tell you last month if we only got paid on what we personally sold on our PRV, you guys. We're going to tell you what our paychecks would have been. And then we're also going to give you the percentage of what our paycheck is because of sponsoring, right? So I'll go first. So hopefully I'm not confusing y'all. Are probably like, what in the heck is she saying? I'm not a numbers person, so I'm not going to be talking too much this call because I don't get the comp plan, understand it fully. I don't really understand numbers, and you don't have to. You can still be successful not fully understanding, but that's why we have these smart, educated numbers people here to teach you the comp plan tonight. So last month, I personally sold $2,691.10. Hard work right there. My paycheck would have been $807.33. Not too shabby still, I think. I think that's still pretty dang good, actually. However, my efforts and my work were only 6% of my paycheck, which means 94% of the bulk of my check came from sponsoring and my team and my group. Next.
Well, I can go next. Only I don't know how to figure out the percentage part. Because I also suck at math. But I can. What's that?
Go ahead, Callie, tell her.
No, you go ahead. You divide your paycheck or what your PRV earnings were by your entire paycheck.
I'm sorry, say it again.
So you divide your PRV by what your actual paycheck was. So like your PRV number that you got, just tell them what you got. It's fine. Well, yeah, you're good. Just tell them what you would have been paid.
Okay, so I sold $2,363 last month. From that, my paycheck would have been $749.61.
Which is still a great check.
And we did calculate, I calculated 30% because you do get that extra bonus. So that's why mine was $807. Same with Jody, 30%.
I'll go. Last month, I sold $3,696.41. 30% if my paycheck would have been $1,108, which is fantastic. It was 20% of my check.
It was what?
20% of my check.
Last month, I sold $2,217. My check would have been $665. And that was 5% of my check.
Jill? We can't hear you, Jill.
Jill McCarthy, her check was so good, it is just silent. It
was so good it broke her microphone.
Thank goodness she sold some stuff to buy a new microphone.
She's going to need to check.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Beautiful.
But I can't hear you. What is happening?
We can hear you. We hear you. We can hear.
Oh no. Oh no, Jilly Sue. Well, technical difficulty.
Jen, why don't you go? You're going to share what you were paid, what your commission or what your PRV was last month, and what your commission on that would have been.
Okay, so hi everybody. So my commission would have been $821 if I was just paid on what I sold. And that ended up being 1.8% of my entire paycheck.
Wow, 1.8%.
Which is pretty crazy.
So I'm going to go last because I had the least PRV out of the entire group, and I had a whopping 1,010 PRV. That's a lie. That's this month already. Let's rewind. I had last month 1,064 PRV. So I did not get the monthly sales award last month. And I would have made $266 off of my personal commissions. And I'm hesitant to share this number, but I'm going to share it anyways. So I was only paid 0.04%, somewhere around there, of our, was from our personal PRV for our end of the month commission check. And so the reason that we wanted to share this with you is it's not to brag. It's not to, deflate the number to which we got paid, because that's a great, for a lot of consultants where you are in your business, that is such an awesome number. Lots of you, many of your team members, they would have loved to get a $666 commission check or a $1,000 commission check or a $2,000 commission check right off their personal sales. That would have been a huge, awesome, awesome goal. But we're here to talk to you guys tonight about what's possible, because we want you to dream bigger and have a slightly different understanding of how to make that happen. Do we wanted to answer the other question, or are we going to go just dive in? Jill, are you fixed? Jill, can you hear us?
I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Do you want to share yours?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, I sold 2,933. My paycheck would have been $882, and that was 9% of my total paycheck.
That's pretty awesome. Okay, so anytime we share these type of numbers, and this is going to be in the description of all of our YouTube videos when we repost this, if you share this training with your team or anybody else, is the income disclosure statement. So anytime we make any sort of lifestyle claim, any time of commission claims, what we did earn, what's possible, we always have to include that income disclosure statement. And so we're going to start with that tonight, just because it is important, but also because it really depicts what is fully possible. And Jill, if you don't have the screen sharing enabled, will you do that real quick? I don't know if you do or not. So I have the income disclosure statement here pulled up, and I'm going to share my perspective, because even when Heather saw me share this on another video, and I think some of the other girls saw me share my perspective of the income disclosure statement, where they maybe thought before when sharing that was kind of a not motivating or inspiring thing, it actually really truly is when you know how to look at it and you break it down. So this is our income disclosure statement, maybe. Yeah, can you guys see that? The income disclosure statement, that's what we're looking at?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So this income disclosure statement is for 2019. So basically, Scentsy took all of the consultants that were in as consultants in 2019, and they earned between 20 and 30% commission bonuses on their personal sales, as well as their leadership bonuses. So that's what we're looking at, okay? And we broke it into two groups. So group number one is actually the number of consultants. This is how many had been in Scentsy for longer than 12 months. That was group number one. Group number two is how many consultants had been with Scentsy for less than 1 year. So less than 12 months that they were able to be a part of the Scentsy family, okay? So group number one, this goes to show you that we have some hobbyists, right? Of these 49-something thousand consultants, we have some hobbyists. They maybe put their 200 in here and there. They really don't get paid a whole super duper lot, right? But there is the base or minimum commissions that somebody earned in 1 year. The second number is the max commission that somebody earned. So there is a consultant in Scentsy that in the year of 2019, they made over $1 million. I think that's pretty impressive, right? I'm sure there's a point where some of you are like, oh, that's not for me. That's just the people at the top. That's just the ones that got in the beginning. I can't do that, right? So I know a lot of times we think about that, and that's where our mind goes. But that's where I really want to point out group two and why this is so inspiring. And this is where probably 90% of consultants will fall into place. So we had those consultants, over 1,000 or 115,000 consultants in this group. And there were some that made zero. They came into the Scentsy family. They made absolutely zero money that year. They bought their kit. They were a kidnapper. They didn't do anything. They fell off, whatever happened there, right? But there was a consultant that came in that knew what was possible, and in 1 year made over $36,000. So when you think about that, if you shifted your mindset, if you shifted your perspective, and you really decided to implement yourself into your business, that could be you. That could be each and every one of you, of changing your circumstances. And all of us, the reason we shared what that was is because we can earn a great income on our personal sales. But if we want to take that to the next level and really reach your goals, your dream, desire, whatever you're here and trying to do with your Scentsy business, this number is possible for each and every one of you, whether you've been in this business for less than a year or if you've been in this business for 10 years. When you decide to, it doesn't matter when you join, it's when you decide to take action, right? When you start to take those steps towards success. And so this is why I find this inspiring, is because it shows that no matter where you are, you can make that happen. It's just up to you and the actions that you take.
Kelly, can I just say a little something on that as well?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that, there are consultants on here right now definitely saying to themselves, that will never be me. I don't know how to do that, or it just is, it's out of their scope of thinking. Like, it's hard for some people to dream big. But I bet you if we found out who those consultants were that are on that chart and we asked them, they would have said the same thing when they joined. That, when I heard actually your mom speak at, I think it was World Tour back then, and then it was switched back in the fall of 2009. And can I share what she said there, Callie?
Sure.
Okay. So back in 2009, Scentsy was still really new. It was just kind of making its way to the East Coast. I still learning what the heck I was doing. I remember listening to this woman who I've come to be, friends with now, but back then I didn't know her. She had made $18,000 that month. And I said, oh my God, right? Like those are things that we dream about. And people like me, we don't earn money like that. People like me, we can't do what people like her did. So if that sounds like you, if that's the kind of talk that you're telling yourself right now, I beg you to stop. Because had I listened to myself and the little icky bitty, the negative Nellies in my ear, the people who were telling me it was a fake job, or listening to people I thought were friends and family that cared, telling me that it was just a scam or a pyramid scheme, all of those things, I wouldn't be where I am today. And so I'm like, again, begging you, please don't tell yourself that. Do not discount yourself before you even give yourself a chance to succeed.
It also reminds me of a time when Rachel Pence, who some of you might know, when she joined Scentsy, she started, I think our incentive period, the year that we went to Africa, was she started as a certified consultant and promoted to director during that holiday season and earned a global top 150 spot. So she went from certified to director in one incentive period and is now 2 years later a superstar director. But I think we all at some point have said, that's them, that's not us. Other people win things. Other people win the lottery. Other people make that kind of money. Other people are the ones that book parties. Other people are the ones that are just good at recruiting or sponsoring. Other people are the ones that, have the personality for this. And when we stop saying other people and we start saying us, ourselves, we can do this too. Because there's way too many examples in the Scentsy family of other people that have done it. Once you put yourself in the same category of she did it, and she did it, and she did it, and I can do it too, it's all mindset, that's when things change. That's when it shifts. So I just had to interject that. It is, you can go from certified to director in one incentive season and be in the global top 150. It is possible. And we're talking Rachel, who has 5 kids under what age?
Like 6.
Yeah, well, I think she's a 10-year-old, but still, they're young.
They're young.
Still. So, she's the kind of person who, when you start to feel like you want to use an excuse for something, especially when, I have 2 little kids, and when I want to use an excuse, I'm like, there's other people with 5 little kids running around, and so I don't really have a lot of room to talk. So, anyhow, just knowing that we are all in support of one another and we all can do great things. It's not just the other person or somebody else.
Okay, so one of the things that we wanted, we were kind of like, okay, how do we cover this topic? And Jody was really the one that was like, you guys cannot name this call that. Like, it cannot be that because nobody's going to want to listen to this call. But we really wanted to dive into a couple things that we feel like we come across in our groups and our teams where they don't quite understand how they get paid, or wait, I got my commission check and it wasn't what it was supposed to be. Why? What happened, right? What is title versus rank? Because we get paid on where we're ranking, right? Not our title. Do we all have to qualify for that every single month? Some of these basic questions that I know that myself, I knew there was a void in where I was explaining things, and other members of our kind of, I don't know what we're going to call ourselves, those that are leading this call, they felt that as well in their group. So that's why we wanted to cover this topic and show you guys really what's possible and how to understand how to get to where you want to be, right? How to get to those points. Does one of my lovely team members here want to cover like that rank and title and just a little bit about that compensation piece there?
No, thank you.
I think I would try, but I don't know that I would deliver it in a good manner.
Say that again, Kelly. Sorry, I was responding to something in chat.
The difference between rank and title and how we have to accomplish our title every single month to get paid at that, the basics of that. I hate when I'm the only one. I like talking a lot.
So title is something that you achieve based on selling your, okay, so let's just say let's use lead consultant, for example. So you're a certified consultant, you were sponsored one person, and you sold $500. This is on any given month. So everything happens within Scentsy within 1 month. Okay. So from the first to the end of the month, you have that long to get paid at title, to get paid at your rank. Okay. So what this means is your title is what you achieve. You go from certified, you sponsor one person, and they are active. They have to be active. That's what an active frontline is. They have to have at least $200 in the system for the month, and you have to have at least $500 of it. Now, here's the thing. You can't go from certified to lead with one person selling 200 and you selling 500, because that's only $700 and you need a TWV of 1,000. Let's back up for 1 second. TWV, or anytime you see a W, that is wholesale volume. So a lot of times it's very confusing when you say, but I have 1,000, my TWV is 1,000, but that's actually wholesale volume. The retail volume of that is $1,333. So backtracking, if I lose you, just stay with me. I will break this down. Okay, so me and I'm a certified consultant. I sponsored Callie. Callie has $200 in the system. She is active. Woohoo! I have an active frontline. I've sold $500 in PRV. That's $700, but we need $1,333. Where's that going to come from? Well, the only thing I can control is my own sales. I can't force Callie to sell. Okay, so one of two things needs to happen. I need to make up the difference between the $700 that Callie and I have together and the $1,333 that we need for me to promote to lead. Lead is the title that I have my eye on. That's the title I'm looking to promote to. Okay, so let's just say though that Callie has this booming month. I sell 500. Callie sells 1,000. Okay, we've got 1,500 in retail sales, which is over the 1,333 that we need in retail volume. I promote in title to lead consultant. Now, for me to get paid at my title, we have to hit those qualifications every month. So just because you're a lead consultant, just because I'm a lead consultant now, doesn't mean I automatically get paid at lead consultant every single month. In order to get paid at my rank and paid at title, right? Am I saying that? Am I using rank right? Okay. You have to hit those qualifications again. So next month, if Callie does her 200 and I do my 500, we're at 700, we fall short. I get paid as a certified consultant, which means I don't get paid off of Callie. If, let's just say, I am like, okay, I can't do this all on my own. I'm really good at selling 500 a month. I could kick it up a little bit, but if Callie's going to do the minimum, I need to add another person. So I make this sound so easy. I'm just going to add Jody to my team. And so now I have Callie and Jody as my front line. Callie is my $200 a month. She doesn't sell more than that. Okay. Jody comes on board and she is like, all right, I have a $500 party my first month. So now Callie's got the 200, Jody's got the 500, and I have to have 500 to get paid at title. We fall short by $133. So I'm going to have to kick it up a little bit to get that $133. So let's just say I sold 700. With Jody and Callie and my own sales, I have enough to get paid at title for that month. The bottom line here is there's a couple things to take away from this very confusing conversation that I just had. It is, you have to earn your title back every month in order to get paid at that title. Or you don't have to earn it back. You have it automatically. You have your title automatically. But in order to get paid at that title, you have to hit those qualifications on a monthly basis. Okay, that's a big thing to take away. The other thing to take away is you have to have $500 to get paid at your title no matter what. Your team could sell $10,000, and if you only put in $200, you don't get paid off of that $10,000. You have to condition yourself in this business to $500 is the minimum. No questions asked. Every single month, $500 is the minimum. Because that is the first step in having this be a Scentsy business for you. Because it's a Scentsy business when you actually are making money more than off of your own sales. Okay? Jody.
Crap, I forgot. There was two things, but one was the 500 PRV that you need to have. You need to make sure that you're checking that before the month ends to make sure that it's actually PRV, because sometimes PRV is calculated differently if it is a licensed item, something like that. So we've seen people say, they've ended the month and they're at like 498 because they didn't, double check it. And the other thing I wanted to say about the 500 PRV is some people, when they don't understand why we have that, don't really grasp it well. They don't accept it well. It's basically a safety net. So Melissa can't come in here and recruit all of these rock star people who are going to sell, and she's just going to sit back and do nothing but collect paychecks off of them. That's why that 500 requirement is there, in order for you to earn royalties off of somebody else. So think of it as, it's safety, it's protection for you. So if you're going to do all this work, your sponsor is not going to get paid if they're sitting back doing nothing. That's all I wanted to add. Yeah,
absolutely. It's just good conditioning too, to get yourself in the mindset of, obviously if you're on this call, you're interested in making this a business, making it more. Anybody can start a Scentsy business and earn commission off their own sales. That's available to all of us. But you kick it to the next level and make it a business once you condition yourself to run it as a business. And part of that is selling at least $500 a month. No questions asked.
So I just wanted to say something really quick, because I know that was a lot of numbers and a lot of things. And I remember someone, and I wish I could remember so I could give credit, but like when I first started and someone was breaking the comp plan down to me, it was like, you have these hoops that you have to jump through every month, no matter what your title is, whatever. So like Melissa said, I just remember like check marks, basically 500, active frontline, GWV, or TWV, whatever it was at the time, depending on ours. And that was just easy. Like that was like a check mark. There's 3 hoops you had to jump through to get to certain things. And so if that helps you at all, it was kind of just like a mental checklist for me that helped me keep on track of what numbers I needed to be looking at.
Yeah. And knowing that, again, it starts over every month. It starts over every single month. You have to work to get paid at title every month.
And I think it's important to point out that we all have to, even as superstar directors, we are open our workstation on the first of the month. All those little circles are zeros, right?
Yep.
Like we all start at 0 and have to requalify every single month to be paid at title.
Yep.
And I want to insert this here really quick. I know we're saying condition yourself, yes, to 500, but I want you to condition yourself to, and Brandy, we'll talk publicly more too, because what you're asking, what you're doing, you're not alone. So put your comments publicly on this thread where everybody can see them, if you don't mind, because Brandy, you are not alone. And I want to say this to you guys because you are working twice as hard getting these individual orders to rack them up to 500 every month. If you will just find one hostess, become really good at parties, figure it out, get help. Last week, I told you guys, we will help you, because it's way easier to get 500 PRV in one party in 30 minutes in a month than you spending 28 days to get a 6-pack of bars, a 3-pack of bulbs to get your 500. So I'm just going to plug that really quick, because if you're not good at it, you've got to become good at it.
So I think before we move on, the next thing we really need to touch on is what is rank versus title. And one of the reasons this topic wanted to be covered was because when it comes to this incentive period, which we talked about earning last week, you could get paid at title points and you could get paid at rank points. Okay. So really where this comes into place is anywhere from lead and above. So lead consultant and above. So in Melissa's analogy, she had me join, she had Jody join. Let's say the three of us, we had a killer month and Melissa promoted to star consultant. So now Melissa has a title of star consultant. Okay. But then the next month, it was not a killer month. We hit lead numbers at the end of the month. For that month, Melissa would have a title of star consultant, but since she didn't requalify for star consultant, she would get a rank pay of lead. So that is the difference between title and rank. If you qualify less than your current title, that would be your rank. And you can still get points towards the incentive trip. You still get commission as a lead consultant for that month, but it's not necessarily as a star consultant. Okay. So that's the difference there.
I wanted to say something really on point with that for a second. And I'm just throwing myself out there just as a prime example. I'm a superstar director. Okay. But right now I'm only getting paid as a star director because I haven't met all of the other requirements. So if that helps the analogy in your head, I am a superstar director. I am that title. I am that in all the things, except I am only getting paid as a star director, which I'm still grateful for, but just to help with your analogy, if that helps anybody see it a little better.
I will say this, I was a superstar director. I was not paid as a superstar director for 6 years and 3 months because I was missing one of the requirements in the boxes, right? And the one I was missing was this one right here. 4 first generation directors. Everything else was met, but that one was not. So if you're ever unsure of where you're going to fall and where you're going to get paid, go to the chart on the catalog on page 61. Wherever your numbers match up, that's where you're going to get paid. If you ever get confused and are like, I don't really know where I'm falling. Well, if you have 2 active frontline consultants and your GWV has met 2,500 and you have personal sales of 500, regardless of whatever your title says, if that's the requirements you met, that's what you're getting paid. That's my little cheat sheet.
So there's one more really important piece here that we hope that none of you ever come across, but it is a very important piece. So Melissa's team is booming, okay? I'm an average consultant. We already knew I am not part of the 2000 PRV club. I'm an average consultant, right? But Jody came on in Melissa's team and she is killing it. Not only is she selling really well, she's also sponsoring and she is just rocking her business, all right? So now Melissa is a star consultant and Jody has promoted to star consultant. So now they both have the same title. What happens? Unfortunately, we as consultants always have to try and stay a step ahead of our team members until we get to director. So in that scenario where Jody is a star consultant and Melissa is a star consultant, Melissa will actually not get paid on Jody's team wholesale volume. If you are the same title or your downline outranks you, you don't get paid on them. Now that does change when you become a director. When you become a director, we then get paid in a completely different way on that. It goes to generation versus frontline, which we're not going to dive into tonight. If you are a director and above, I do have a generation versus level compensation plan training that I kind of discussed, and I'm happy to share that, but that will go in a completely different direction. So
Callie, will you repeat what you just said one more time?
I would love to.
Thank you.
From the beginning?
Just the part where you said if you're the same title or they outrank you.
Okay. Yeah. So if you were the same title, so if Jody and Melissa, let's reverse that, Melissa and then Jody, because Jody's her team member, right? If Jody reaches the same title or higher, Melissa will no longer get paid on her. You have to be a title above your team members or a director for that to change. Okay. And then at director, it goes to generational bonuses. So, even if you, and if definitely if your rank, right? If your rank is low, then you're obviously not going to get the title pay on those that are out titling or outranking you. I know this is a lot, and this is why we wanted to break it down in a lot of depth, because it can be confusing, but I think it's important to understand so you know what the expectations are, so that you don't open your commission check and then you're like, oh my gosh, wait, I didn't earn this commission, or I thought it was going to be this, or I thought it was going to be that, because that's probably one of the saddest days of the month instead of the most exciting days of the month, right?
Or you open your commission check and you're like, okay, how do I grow this? How do I work smarter, not harder? How do I start growing this business? And that's a question we all, there's not that secret formula for recruiting or sponsoring or getting people to join or it is just consistency in doing what you do and teaching your downline when you do have them to do the same thing.
I think, don't you feel like when your team members come to you, Melissa, or any of you guys, that's like the hardest question to answer, because like, hey, what do I do to grow? And you're like, okay, well, why did you join? Well, this is my point. Okay, you need to find other people that want to do that too. Or, all of those little bits and pieces. There's not a secret. It's consistently asking and going for the no and hearing that no over and over and over again. Jen's a top recruiter. Melissa, Heather does a really great job with flipping parties. I'm sure they can tell you those exact same things of it's just doing the same actions over.
Well, and I like hearing Jen, like when Jen talks about, Jen is an astounding recruiter, sponsor. And she's going to say, I don't even know what I do. That's so, but I love hearing you talk about sponsoring because you do it in such a way that that's just, it speaks to people. So I just threw you in front of your own RV.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Am I talking or no? Oh, so sponsoring. So you want me to talk about sponsoring? So basically, I just share the opportunity with everyone, like just like the rest of you. Like honestly, when people come to you to buy a 6-pack of wax, your first response should be, why would you buy this from me when you can sell it yourself and you can earn your own wax for free? And then if they don't want to do that, then you can say, well, then why would you want to pay full price for this? Book a party, have a party, earn your wax for free. And then I feel like for myself personally, if I have completely failed, I tell them that it's $31.65 with tax. But you better believe they go on my list that they didn't like try to chop my head off when I asked them to join. So I share the opportunity with absolutely everybody. And it's the very first thing I talk about because I know what a blessing this company is for each and every one of us. And I've seen what it has done for every walk of life, all different nationalities, all shapes and sizes, absolutely everyone. Anybody can be successful in this business. And that's one of the things I love most about our business.
Well, and I think that this would be a perfect time. I know this is segueing just a second or veering off path, but this segues really what Jen just said really well, what Jill was talking about with this industry. I think this is a really important place to insert the perception of this industry and the fact that we love this industry. So Jill, would you speak to that for a second?
Yeah. And we'll get to some of your questions are really good, where I can remember being very confused on some of this stuff too. So if the rest of you guys want to take a look at some of the questions, just make notes. Because you can probably explain them better than me on who they get paid on and when their team recruits someone else. But I've been in this industry, you guys, for 15 years, 4 or 5 companies before Scentsy. And I remember a big holding, and I try to always think back of where I came from and what was holding me back in the very beginning. I was almost going to ask Jen this too, because a lot of us are set up to, we get out of high school, we go to college, we pick our major, we get this job, we're supposed to do dun 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 dun, and somehow, some way, direct sales gets presented to us, right? And for me, I was always like, oh, one of those companies. I'm just going to sign up and hope people know that I do it and maybe they'll buy from me for the longest time. And that's because of this persona, or actually it's not a persona. There's some companies doing things not the right way. It's load as many people as you can into your business and I'm just going to collect a paycheck on them and I don't really know what I'm doing and you figure it out and see you later and I'm going to collect the money. And I watch a lot of people. I watch and listen to figure out why they don't really like direct sales or what they think. And something special about Scentsy, and people can say it's cliche, people can say what they want, but from the beginning of time, I've always thought it was different. It's different because we are direct sales business. It's a little bit different than how MLMs are structured, where we are investing more in each person. There's more of a relationship building, I would say, because a big part of this is we want to share the opportunity. And in turn, we're going to share everything that we know with all of you. 90% of people that join a direct sales business don't have any idea how to run a business. We join because we like the products and we want to get a discount and we have that little piece of hope. I mean, there's a small percentage that say, I'm going to join and I'm going to take this, catapult it, right? But the majority of us join and we have no idea what we're getting into, but there's that little bit of hope. Maybe that can be me. Maybe I can do that. And luckily with Scentsy, we have such great leaders. So many great people have taken me under their wing, and we all learn things. Over the last 15 years, I've learned so much about business and taxes and assistance and organization and all of the things. And so we share the opportunity, but we also take all of our knowledge and all of our experience and everything that we've learned, and we share that with all of you guys, which is business training. If I could have skipped college and just done this, I would have had a whole lot of more money in my pocket, because I mean, all of the people would have just showed me what to do, and I like hands-on stuff. So there's nothing to be, I mean, now I know that my path was led this way for a certain reason, but I used to feel badly about it. I didn't even know why I felt badly about it. I was just listening to people talk. And the truth is as you guys learn stuff every day and we teach you that sponsoring is about bringing people on board and not just leaving them, but sharing with them everything that you've learned, there's absolutely nothing wrong or nothing that you should feel bad about sharing the opportunity with them and then providing them business training. That's what you're doing. My company paid thousands of dollars to have me trained in social media. And we've all paid thousands of dollars if we went to college and learned all this stuff. You get to buy a $99 kit or a $49 kit or a $20 kit, and you get all of this business training, which again, if I could have traded that in and just done what I'm doing now, I would have, but I didn't know. We were, you're set on a path and you're supposed to do certain things a certain way. And so when you're sharing the opportunity, I think that's where you have to have the shift of, I might have joined yesterday, but I'm on this call tonight and I'm learning all kinds of stuff, and I'm going to share it with someone else because what can it could provide them? And I'm going to tell them how to get on a training call, and I'm going to show them how to work the workstation. I'm going to do all of these things. So this isn't about just buy my wax and hurry up and join my team so I make a paycheck. I'm on training calls and Zoom calls and coaching calls and business calls and social media calls. Like, I don't even know. Like every night I'm like, oh, there's a call at 8, there's a call at 7, there's a call at 6. That's to train everyone. So when you guys are sharing the opportunity and bringing people on board, you definitely don't have to know everything. You have to commit to learning something new every single day so that those people that you are bringing on, you can share with them tomorrow. There's always going to be someone joining after you. So sometimes I don't know how to word this stuff in a way where if you get those feelings of like, I don't even know what I'm doing and I'm supposed to recruit people. So I recruit people and what am I doing? That's why you're on these calls. You're on these calls to learn something new so that you can share with the person behind you. That's what it's all about. You're sharing business training and you're helping all these people, and you're bringing, are there bad apples out there? They're going to be in every single company, business, office building. They're out there. But no matter who you joined under or what you're doing, there's so many resources. You guys just need to find the ones that work for you and then commit to sharing that with the person behind you. That's it. And then if you get a commission check on that, Girlfriend, you should. Men, if you're on here, you should get paid. You would at any corporate job. I was a corporate trainer. I got paid to train people. That's what you guys are doing. You're doing business training, social media training. Organization training. You're doing all the things, and that's okay. You just need to make sure that you commit to do that. Always sharing, always giving back, always giving more than you take, right? Like learning and sharing. And so even though there's some icky stuff with this industry, with any industry, I always say, when someone says that they don't like this industry, I'm like, well, then they probably had a bad experience. And I always make my business about committing to make the experience better for people. That's all I can do, because there's always going to be people that talk bad about every industry, finance, cars, furniture, this, that, the other. I can't change that. I can only commit to making it a better experience for someone else. So don't feel bad about when we say it was 9%, yeah, because we work our tail off training all of the people so that you guys can make the paychecks and live the dreams and change your life and do all of those things. And if you're doing that for others, you should get paid, period.
And I want to just say this really quick, because I've sold for a lot of companies. I've been with 12 direct sales companies. The reason why I love Scentsy and it works for me, the products are great, the lifetime manufacturer warranty, they stand behind it, the owners, everything they stand for, yes, is a huge part of it. But 2, I love the fact that I have a product that is consumable and that I can, when they need more, they can come back. I love that I have products for men, women, and kids. Anyone with a nose can purchase from me. And there's no timeline or a product, or I don't have space for another pot or another bag, or trying to get someone to have a lifestyle change on weight loss or makeup or whatever. It can be anything. I don't have to be the pushy salesman, because my products speak for itself, and I make sure that I leave every human being better than when I found them, and I try to just brighten their life. And that's really all it is. But the fact is, you have 24 hours in a day. We all sleep, and whatever you choose to do with your time has to be income producing, and it has to be getting you closer to your goal. And the only way that you want to get closer is to grow that team and to sponsor these people and share the opportunity. And now how you decide you deliver that, it is kind of awkward when somebody comes and tries to buy a 6-pack of bars from you, and you're like, oh, thanks, I'll take lemon verbena and baked apple pie. You want to join my team? That's awkward. It's weird, right? You've set yourself up in a weird position. That's why you're like, I don't really know how to sponsor. Well, you're trying to sponsor when they're buying a 6-pack of bars. That's a little weird. I don't go buying a Kia and they offer me a Ferrari, right? Like I'm in the wrong department. This is not right. So figure out when it's natural to offer that opportunity to maximize your compensation plan. The perfect opportunity is when you set this up for a hostess to have a really great party in sales and bookings, and they're like Jen said, have you ever thought about doing this? Why do I want to keep the commission? This is all your friends buying it. They're going to need more in a couple of weeks anyway. You might as well take this. Why would you not take this party? Get the host exclusive starter kit. It's a perfect Tiffany blue box. You're waiting, going like, here, of course I'll do it. So it's only awkward when you're choosing to offer the opportunity. So think about that too. So you want to maximize the compensation plan, but there is a process to doing it right where it doesn't feel weird. And the more you do it, it does become easier.
And sometimes it's not even just about Scentsy on why people join, because I added a team member who wanted to get better at art and graphics. Like we met because of Scentsy. She bought Scentsy from me, but she was always impressed with how I could just so quick swag up a digital image on my phone and put words on it and post it. And I said, this is just one of the many things that I've learned because of my Scentsy business. I've balanced time management. I have organized, my office. I've learned about social media. I've learned about how to properly do my taxes and the importance of, I've learned so many more things than just, great job. I've learned so many more things than just, it's not just about products. Sometimes if you have the ability to say to somebody, oh, you know what? That's just another added bonus to my Scentsy business, is this, XYZ. And answering a question, I want to scroll up really quick and just answer Caitlin's question that said, so if a downline gets someone to sign up under them, does that help me at all? Or are they not part of my pay? So let's use the example of I have Callie and Jody as my front line, and Callie adds Heather, and Heather adds Melissa, and Melissa adds Teresa, and Teresa adds Lauren, and Lauren adds Diana, and Diana adds Pamela. I get paid off of all of that because that is Callie's leg of her team. So no matter how deep that goes, and remember, this changes a little bit when you hit director, but we're not worrying about that right now. We are worrying about you are a lead consultant and trying to hit star, and all of a sudden Callie starts recruiting and then Jody starts recruiting. So Jody recruits Amanda, and then Amanda recruits or sponsors Candace, Diana, and Pamela. And then Pamela adds Kim. I get paid off of all of that from Jody's leg and all of those people in that team from Callie's leg. So it isn't just about how many people you add. The power of one can come into play here very quickly because you sponsor somebody who captures the Scentsy vision and runs with it. And we all want to be that person that captures the vision and runs with it. But there's a lot of times somebody joins as a hobby and all of a sudden 6 months later captures that vision and starts building a team. And then that takes off, and then you realize, well, shoot, if I don't get my act together, they're going to pass me, and then I'm not going to get paid off of them. So sometimes people capture the vision when they notice that they have a rock star that they've added to their team. So be that rock star and start it off. You want to sponsor people and grow your team and teach them to do the same. I hear Jen Audette in my head constantly. You sell $2,000 a month. You sell $2,000 a month. You add 2 people to your team and you teach them to do the same. That is, honestly, that has been programmed in my brain since I first met Jen Audette. Sell $2,000 a month.
And you touched on something. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It's funny you say that too, because when people say, well, my team's not doing anything. Okay. What Jen would say to me is, go sell $2,000, which will give you conversations to have to recruit 2 more people, to do it over again. You can't get caught up if you have crickets on your team. You know what's going to motivate your team? You're recruiting 5 or 10 more people and they start rocking it. Those team members will mirror what you and your team are doing. There's no, I can't motivate them. Go sell $2,000 more. If you do that, you're going to have all these opportunities to talk to all these people and recruit them, recruit 2 more people and 2 more people and 2 more people. Those crickets will eventually start chirping.
And that is the one. Oh, go Jen. Go Jen.
No,
go Jen.
Go. I just will forget because it was something that you said. You were talking about the reason that people join, and I just want to remind you all, like Melissa said, people don't all just join for money. They actually say that the top 3 reasons that people join: one is for funds, for money; the other is for friends, and the other one is for fun. Yeah. So people want to have fun. Some people have never been part of a team. That's why I literally offer the opportunity to every single person I come across, just to offer it to them, because you know what? If you don't ask them, someone else will. And it might be someone from another company, or it might be your neighbor that also sells Scentsy that isn't on your team. You want to offer it honestly to everybody. And remember, Mary Christensen, one of her quotes that she uses, that's one of my absolute favorites, is, sales is your income for today. Booking parties is your income for tomorrow. So you've got to have parties on your book so that next month you make some money. But sponsoring team members is your income forever. So that is super, super, super important. And another point that we kind of brought up was, we were all taught that we need to trade hours for dollars. And get that out of your mind. You don't need to get paid hours for dollars. If you work massively hard, then you deserve massive success. And with that massive success, you can bless so many people. You can have the best life ever. You can give, give, give. So making money is not a greedy or a stingy thing. Making money gives you the power to change whatever you want to change in your life and in other people's lives. So offer the opportunity to every single person that you come across, and each and every single one of you deserves massive success.
That's so true. I can remember being in my corporate job and I was compliance, which no one really likes compliance. And I'm sure you guys all read it. This was back in probably 2000. Oh, it was before Scentsy. It was 2008. And if you haven't read The Energy Bus, yeah, I was the girl in corporate trying to print off pages from The Energy Bus, which was all positivity, rah, rah, rah. I love to train people. And all the corporate people were like, there's something wrong with this girl. So Scentsy was my I mean, I don't know what Jen probably knows too. The number of people that join direct sales are like cheerleaders, teachers, people that love that team atmosphere. A lot of them are in sororities. You know, people love that. I crave that. I love the team aspect of it. And corporate America just kind of isn't all about that. So you have to ask everyone because you never know what people are looking for, ever. Never know.
And what I was going to say was one of the things that, one second, baby. One of the things that, that drives me crazy is, for lack of a better way to say it, that drives me crazy is when somebody says my team doesn't do anything. And I'm like, okay, so you need some more team. and my team's not doing anything. And I'm like, then you do it. Put that energy into finding team that does want to do something, because that's the train that will move forward. That's the train. So we don't spend a lot of time and energy on those that aren't, they're sucking the air out of your brain.
Demand your time, right?
Yes.
Demand it.
We spend time on with those who deserve our time, not those who demand our time. And another big newsflash, like Melissa was just saying, is no one's responsible for your success but you. It's no one's fault but your own. When your team isn't doing anything, go stand in front of the mirror and have a big conversation, have a big heart-to-heart, and decide with that person in the mirror that you're ready to make a change. You are ready to get everyone on board and work with those people who deserve your time, not the ones who are constantly demanding your time. Nobody has time to sit and just keep feeding. Do you know what I mean? Like, we love everybody. We want to try and help everyone. But like the people who just suck the life out of you, you don't need to work with that. You can choose to work with people that lift you up and inspire you. And yeah, anyway, sorry, I keep interrupting you. Sorry, Melissa, you get me excited.
No.
Hi, Maren. Hi, Maren.
No, I feel like I've completely commanded this, and I don't mean to, but so Kelly, guide us.
A lot of it too, like I know we've talked about the compensation plan and it moves to sponsoring, but they go hand in hand, because everyone's like, well, how do I promote and how do I get to that level? How do I sponsor? You've just got to talk. You've got to, I said on my Instagram account today, I can honestly say that I love supporting direct sellers. I think it's the coolest opportunity. I think it's the best industry in the world, because it gives people that never thought that they would have the opportunity like this, like we started this with, to do something amazing. But I didn't pick any direct seller to get me my shakes or my mascara or any of this stuff because I saw a post on Facebook. It was because I built a friendship, or I started talking to them on Instagram, or I had a conversation with them. So all of you have to get that out of your head. If you want to sponsor, you have to have genuine conversations about everyday stuff and get to know people and talk with people. And like Jen said, offer it to everybody. You never know what it's going to turn into, but it's never going to be a post and pray. It's never going to be a tire's great, but it's never just going to be a Scentsy shirt where every now and then that might strike up conversation. You guys have got to open your mouth and you've got to get comfortable and build confidence. And every time you do it again and again, it's going to get easier and easier and easier. We promise. Sorry, Callie.
And you constantly have to be needing new people. Like, it's not the same circle of people.
I was going to say that I wanted to admit that I wanted this training to happen tonight more than anybody, I think. And I've literally taken like 2.5 pages of notes, because I feel like this is where I struggle with teaching, but I hope y'all are all taking notes, because this is full of information and you can always learn more. So I just had to throw that in.
No, I love that, Cookie. And I'm glad that you asked to have this topic, because I think it's definitely one that it's a hard topic to cover. And we're lucky that we have such a vast variety of knowledge, right, to pull together and give that. But it is so important. If you don't know if you don't know how to get to where you want to go, how are you supposed to get there? Yeah, we recruit, we sell, and that we'll get there somehow. But if you really want to be intentional and have the perspective and the understanding of what's possible, somebody has to share that with you, right? You don't know what you don't know. And so that's what we're here for. I do want to point out a couple things real quick. There was another question that we didn't get to touch. It was from Michelle. And she had asked, what if your director, or what if you have a team member that gets to director before you? How does that, what happens there? When you hit director, they become your first generation director. And so you get paid on them. But if they start promoting directors, you actually have to look at the comp plan in regards to where that goes from there. But yes, you can get to a point if they promote before you, then you still get to earn commission on them. The next thing I really want to drop here is we really want you guys, if you want it, right? We can't want it more than you do, but we want you to know what's possible. We want you to know how to get there. So I am actually going to drop, I've never done this before, but I was able to drop a file into the chat. And this was shared by a fellow superstar director, I don't even know if they're superstar director, a fellow director in one of our groups this last week. And this is a chart of, okay, where am I wanting to go? You have your PRV. Where do I need to be on each day of the month for my personal PRV? Based off of what we just said with Jen, right? We're going to set it for 2 recruits and 2,000 PRV. So you're going to look at the second column for the PRV because that's a 2,000 PRV column. And it will tell you, where do I need to be each day on that? If it's Heather's party and you know you have this party coming up and you're going to get $500 from that party because that's your goal, that's what you're pushing towards, right? You kind of already can gauge that. But then it also breaks it down for lead, star, superstar, and director of where you and your TRBV needs to be each month or by each day of the month to get to your goals or to step above. And if you can plan and shoot further and plan ahead, that's even better. It's kind of like what Melissa said last week, which I loved when it came to earning this incentive trip. Focus on the sponsoring points now, right? Focus on that now. Front load as much as possible so that when you're getting towards the end of the month, you're not freaking out. You're not wondering where those sales are going to come from. You're not wondering how you're going to get that TWV or how on the last day of your month, you're going to inspire your team to get to where you need to be, right? We're planning ahead, we're working, and we have these goals as to get there. Did we hit all the other questions? I think we did as I scanned. Is there anything you guys want to add as we're getting to the
I want Jen to just really quickly say what she said earlier, that it's not necessarily sometimes that you always sponsor. Jen, would you share that aspect of it, how you were saying that earlier? Because that really hit home for me.
Okay, so a great example is Jill McCarthy is my frontline superstar director. I did not sponsor Jill. I sponsored her sponsor at a home party. I was playing a game at a home party and I said, I played the card game, which was my game I always played. And I said, well, if anybody will book a party or wants information on joining Scentsy, I'll give you 4 cards right now. And this great girl raised her hand and she said, well, I'll join your team. And I said, okay, I'll give you 6 cards. So I gave her 6 cards. And anyway, long story short, she had this great friend named Jill McCarthy, who they went to high school with. And so she sponsored Jill McCarthy. So I needed Angela to get to Jill. And so Angela didn't choose to stay with Scentsy or whatever her reasoning was. She didn't stay with Scentsy, but she brought Jill to me. So, it doesn't matter who brings people onto your team, because you're not going to, the other thing is you're not going to connect with every single person that's on your team. You're not going to have the same personalities. You're not going to be inspiring to everyone. If you are building a big enough team, you're not going to connect with everyone. Mary Christensen says, if everyone likes you, then you're probably not being truthful, honest, and something is not going right in your business if you have a large enough business. And that doesn't mean they have to hate you, but there are people that send me nasty emails sometimes, and I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm sorry that happened to you, but I did not mean it that way. But anyway, point being that anywhere that they fall in your downline, let people, I'm sorry, I did not gather my thoughts for that. But I guess I would say one of the things that I work with people right out of the gate is when somebody joins under me, one of the first things I try to do is inspire them to have a friend come with them, because you never know, as Heather was saying, is it going to be them or is it going to be their friend that I'm going to most connect with? Because sometimes I might beg a little too much for that person to join under me. And, I might have just gotten them so excited in the moment and that they joined. But when they get someone to join, a lot of times that person was a little more interested and joined because I wasn't there to talk them into it. So they may be actually more interested, if that makes any sense to you at all. But I guess the point is, you sponsor people, but also encourage your people to help have other people join as well.
How many of us, that makes total sense. How many of us superstar directors that are on here have a first generation director that was like 3 or 4 levels down from you.
Yep.
And now they're your front line.
I'm looking right here. Carmen Tellez is on, and she's my first generation director. Hi, Carmen. We're glad you're here. And we did not sponsor her. So Amanda Post, she's in my group. She should technically be like a probably 5th generation director. And she, I think right now is a 3rd or a 2nd. And her director actually was a 3rd at one point.
So I have 3 frontline superstar directors, and all 3 of them are a similar story to Jill. They were all recruited by somebody that sponsored by somebody that I sponsored. I didn't sponsor any of them, but luckily they came to me because of somebody that I sponsored.
This is probably like the most aha moment of the whole call, though, that we don't think about and sometimes forget that this is why teaching your team to sponsor as well is important, because your team member may not stay, but the person they bring in might. It's huge. Power of one.
And that one person they brought in that stays is where the 93% of my paycheck comes from.
Mm-hmm.
And my little 6% that I sold myself, how cute, is at, right? Like when you think about that, and it starts domino effect, and it's that snowball getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, this is what happens. It absolutely can be, oh, that's so cute, I'm having 1 party a month, to 4 parties a month, sponsoring 4. Your team of 4 is now a team of 8. Alyssa Hancock is the perfect example of this. Certified consultant, in 4 months, a team of 51 people already in 3 short months, 1 to 51 in 3 months.
Take it one step further, though. Why would you say that is with Alyssa?
Well,
Because
go ahead.
No, and I'm asking that question for everybody. Like, okay, so how did Alyssa do it? How did she get to 50? What did she commit to? Because she certainly didn't sit back and say, I can't do this, or I don't. So she's partying. So what is she, like, what does that mean?
She's on here, I think. I just can't see because all the Hollywood squares. She was furloughed from her job. She was a consultant. She quit. She came back, was furloughed from her job, and decided, I'm going to just give this a shot. I mean, nobody expected COVID to happen and what is happening, right? She gave it a shot. She started partying. The 30-minute Facebook party online with sales. Diana, you start with your Fab 5. The 5 people closest to you or 10 people closest to you that you could ask a favor for and they say yes, or they would buy dirt from you if you were selling dirt. It's those people you can go to and say, I need a favor, I need a host. That's where you start. You don't start knocking on neighbors' doors. No, you start with the people that know, like, and trust you. That's where you start. So she started partying, getting bookings, flipping those hosts every single time. We're talking about someone that is sponsoring 6, 7 people a month, selling $4,000 to $6,000 because she's partying. That's the ticket. That's the thing. And she can unmute and come on here and say something. I don't see her on here, but she is on here somewhere.
I'll also point out, I just dropped in the chat, Alyssa did my group's call this last week, and it was so super duper awesome. She was super inspiring. And so I dropped the link to that call here in the chat. You guys are all welcome to go listen to it. It was awesome.
Thank you, Callie, and thank you, Alyssa.
So can I throw out a little challenge to you guys? Because this is how I started sponsoring people. I was really nervous about talking to people when I first started. And I was a little bit embarrassed that I was selling stuff because I was a dental hygienist, and it was a little embarrassing to start talking to people about joining my Scentsy team. So I got this challenge from someone else, and it worked for me. And so I often give this to people. So you can do this one of 2 ways. You can do it with 10 bracelets, or you can do it with 10 pennies. And so if you go to Claire's and you buy these cheap little bracelets and you get 10 of them and you put it on your wrist and have 10 conversations. Now, if you don't think you can do 10, start with 5. Put 5 bracelets on your wrist. Every single day, put those bracelets on and move them to the other wrist every time you have a conversation with someone about giving Scentsy a try. Or if you're like me and you can't stand having these on your wrist, I take them off. So it made me do it really early in the day. So I would go into the gas station and I would say, hey, I would just have a conversation. You know what? I might not come out and say, will you join my team? But I had a conversation that built a relationship. So it was kind of like a relationship building conversation. Or you can put pennies in your pocket. You can start off the day with 10 pennies in your left pocket and move them to your right pocket. And I did this every day for years. And I was able to just have so many conversations. And the first, of course, 100 people that I talked to, it was awkward and weird. And I said the wrong thing and it didn't come out right. But then as I went, I realized, okay, that sounded really salesy and that was terrible. And that person basically did not ever want to talk to me again. But then I learned that it really was just about complimenting people or having a conversation. So having those 10 of something, either pennies or bracelets or whatever you can come up with, or even 5, it can be amazing because it will encourage you, it'll inspire you to have those conversations. And remember, not everyone needs to make money. They might just want to be part of a team, or there are people who've retired that just wish that they could get out and do something fun and that they've missed all of their friends that they used to work with. So just an idea if you don't know how to do it. And my daughter just heard Jen and said, Mom, oh, sorry. Sorry, I got distracted. So anyway, if you don't know how to have those conversations, just force yourself to do it. Maybe start off with three bracelets if you need to, but work yourself up to having 10 conversations a day. And then it becomes natural. Then like you see everything that you see living and breathing, you're like, boy, that person would be great on my Scentsy team. So anyway, that was just a little challenge that I'd love to throw out there to you.
Jen, that reminds me of when you did, I forget if it was Leap to Lead or something to Star, like when I very first started. And you had us wear these stupid scent circles everywhere we went. And you could take them off until you either booked 3 parties or had 3 opportunity conversations where you gave the scent circle to someone. So I stick them on my Michael Kors bag and everybody's like, what are you doing to that bag? I'm like, well, I'm not wearing them around my neck. So, I mean, it just like was a flashback. But I had so many conversations just because these ridiculous scent circles were hanging on my bag. You know, you've got to put yourself out there further. And if you're going to tell yourself no, then it's going to be no. If you're going to say I can't find somebody, then you're not going to find somebody. I mean, it's just all about a matter. So put the scent circles on your bag if you can't find someone and take a page out of Jen's book.
That's why tonight I just wanted to throw in there. There's 40 of you. Now, 40 of you might be in the bathtub or painting. I don't know what you're doing. But a big part of this, you guys were in quarantine. You're going to have to get comfortable being on camera. Like everything's about Facebook parties and getting out of your comfort zone. Someone said something back to my favorite saying, because it's built like all around social media. People will do business with who they know, like, and trust, but they can't know, like, and trust you if they can't see you. And so with my team, and even when I'm doing training calls, I'm like, turn that camera on, because as silly as it seems, you have to get comfortable seeing yourself. You have to get comfortable looking where the camera is. You have to get comfortable and over that you don't like your voice. You don't like your cheeks. You don't like your hair. You don't like your background. You can't do this because I don't have a bookcase like her and I don't have paint like her and there's laundry anywhere. Who cares? You guys, none of that stuff is going to matter. What's going to matter is, I can tell you right now, if your camera's off and my camera's on and the customers have to choose a consultant to go with, they're always going to go with the person that they can see. Always. So you've got to get comfortable. I've had tons of people on my team say, I don't like how I sound. Well, good thing it's not about you. Because her voice, I don't know if Dina's on here, is a New York, New Jersey accent, and I could listen to her all day long. And she's like, really? I was like, I love your accent. I love accents. So you have to stop making it about what you don't like about yourself and make it about how you can bless someone's day. And that means they have to see you. That's why it's important on social media. It's going to be important on your Facebook parties. It's going to be important on your Zoom calls. Practice when you're with family, like right now. None of that stuff matters. Stop getting caught up in if you want to keep growing in that conversation plan and get more comfortable with yourself, you've got to turn on the camera. You've got to do weird things. All of us are here. Nothing's happening. We're not dying. Like, turn on your cameras and start getting comfortable with this amazing blessing that you have to give to people. It starts with confidence. I mean, so many people, how do I sponsor? You got to get confident first. You've got to start building and taking a baby step every single day so that after a week, a month, a year, you can say, I was you too. I didn't even dare to turn on my camera, but now you have to turn on the camera. And more and more practice will help you get more and more comfortable. And if, the baby's at your desk or the dog comes in or there's someone yelling in the background, like, it's real life, people. And that's what makes it relatable for people. So I just think that next week, I'm going to be even worse. Like, turn on your cameras. And I can see all of you when your cameras are off. I see your names. Start calling you
That's,
all out.
but Jill, that's also why we say, make sure that you have a photo on your PWS.
Mm-hmm.
Don't use the stock image of the catalog that Scentsy automatically puts in for you.
Yep.
Put your face on your website. Put your face on your business card if you're comfortable enough to do so, because people do business with people. They don't do business with cardboard. And
Mm-hmm.
business cards that have photos are memorable. People have a harder time throwing away a business card that has a photo on it than they do if it doesn't. That's why my sticker labels on my bar have my photo. Because I want that. Look at Jill is showing you. Her business card is her photo. My bars are labeled with my photo. Jen's got her picture. You guys, we are the brand. We are. Candace is holding up. She's got a picture on her business card. Callie was holding something. Heather's got. You guys, if we can tell you anything, it is even let your marketing make a relationship for you. Be memorable. Be memorable. Let your face can do a lot.
People will pick personality over the product and I say that because when we go back to the dirt list, right? It grows based on how many people get to know your personality. That's what we say, show up on Instagram stories. Even you guys, I even have sweat running down my back when I do a Facebook Live. It's scary. It's uncomfortable. Like I told people the other day, here's what you have to tell yourself though, is here's the camera. Look, it's not 30,000 people on a stage. No one's going to come through the camera. You can't see people laughing at you. And you have to think to yourself, if they don't like what I'm saying, there's this cool little button and it says unfollow. And they are allowed to press it. And there's always going to be judges and haters. So you can't get caught up in that. You just have to show up and tell yourself nothing's going to happen. I'm going to be stronger than I was yesterday. Everything's going to be okay. I mean, I can remember I was using Zoom when it was in beta, when it first started. And I was like, oh my God, this is so weird. Like having just someone on the screen with me. This isn't like, it's not uncommon to feel uncomfortable with all of this. That's why there's only a small percentage of people on TV and they're good with it. We're like, no, I'll be back here. You've got to practice. You've got to get comfortable. You've got to put your face on things. You've got to show up and be known as that Scentsy girl, because if you're all over the place and trying to do all kinds of things, take it from me. I could tell you that story. That needs to be a whole nother call. But I mean, like once you're known as, when they think of Scentsy, they should think of you. That won't happen unless your face is on everything and unless you're showing up. Unless you're opening those doors every single day.
It's just like a realtor, a real estate agent. You don't see a real estate agent sign in the yard without their name and photo.
Right.
Ever.
Because they pick the personality. They pick the pretty picture. They pick whatever, but you've got to put a face with who you do business with.
Yep. And JP?
I was just going to say a funny little side note. I live in a small town. My husband's lived there his whole life. There's a gazillion of them. And forever I was like, oh, which Pilcher boy are you married to? Which Pilcher boy are you married to? And finally, one day someone was like, hey, Denny, aren't you married to the Scentsy lady? That was like the most like I have arrived moment I've ever felt. Like, wait a minute, this is my town. But no, but it feels great to be able to, that's what I'm known as. And my kids know. Anyway, and I was at a booth with Melissa when she first started using those stickers. And I remember being like, I don't know if I want to put my face all over a bar. I don't know. It was the talk of her event. People loved it. And now I've done it and people are like, oh, hey, that's your face on there. That's awesome. It puts the two and two together. So be your brand. You want them to connect the two together.
And sometimes people don't even realize that Scentsy is an overall parent company. Like they think since my face is on the bar that I am Scentsy. And that they're like, I want to do business with you because like this is, and I'm like, no, it's not my company, but this is my business. Like, this is what I do every day, full time, Scentsy. My house smells amazing. My car smells amazing. My daughter's room smells amazing. Everything about it is amazing. I do it with my friends. I do it on my own time. I have fun. This is me. I am Scentsy. And people are like, I even have a customer who requested I no longer put my face sticker on her bars because she keeps her bars in her husband's underwear drawer, and he requested to not see my face when he opens the drawer. So I put 2 stickers on the outside instead. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm dead serious. Like it's memorable. It is totally memorable.
It is. how you'll know once you've made it is when people stop asking you, do you still sell Scentsy? If they're still asking you that question, you're not marketing and branding yourself enough, and they don't take you as a businesswoman of your business yet. So either A, you're not telling people you do Scentsy, or B, they still have to ask you, do you still do Scentsy? That is the biggest insult when someone asks me that, because I'm not doing my job.
They got to see you. You got to show up. It's the only way that this works. Is it's post and pray, or sit in your house and hope someone knocks on the door. You've got to get out there, because you're not gonna just. I mean, it's the same as anything for your house or a loan. What do? We ask someone, hey, does anyone know a mortgage broker? Hey, does anyone have a realtor? We don't go randomly walking through the street and look for a sign. We want to do business with someone that we know, that someone likes, and that people trust. And so you have to show up. You have to show your face. You have to get out there. And it's uncomfortable. And all of us were uncomfortable in the beginning. And it's just the only thing that we can tell you guys is the more you do it, the less you feel uncomfortable. So if you don't like that uncomfortable spot, you got to keep doing it. I promise you'll come out of it. You'll have little things that still like, pressing live and, what if no one watches me? But what if someone does? What if the next person that you see the little one pop up when you're live is your next rock star? Think that way. It only takes one person.
So we have gotten way off the topic for the night.
It's okay. I'm pumped up.
Way over our time limit.
We may bring this back to rebrand or branding in the future, but we hope that at the very least tonight you guys got a little bit more understanding of how your business is built, what is possible within your business, and just know that we're all here cheering you on and happy to help understand. If there's more questions, reach out, but it is possible for each and every one of you. It's not just for us. It's not just for the girl next door or the other person on your team. It's for each and every one of you if you want it. But the key word to that entire phrase and statement was you. It's up to you to go out and make it happen. Does anybody else have any last words before we wrap it up?
Awesome call. Awesome. Thank you. Thanks everyone for being here.
And we'll end it with our quote of the week. Nothing changes if nothing changes.
Woo woo.
Rhonda Roots signing off.
We love you guys. Make it happen,
Thank
sisters and brothers.